is hard as hell. United, Tottenham, Arsenal. Watch my lips, and I will spell. Cause they don't just play, but they can rap as well. Liverpool FC.
My idea was to build Liverpool into a bastion of invincibility.
Welcome back to another episode of the Anfield South podcast. It's me, your boy Slim, as always. I'm saying, who we got with us today? Well, who's down there? Jefe, what you saying, bro?
Yeah, I'm all good, brother.
Man like JR, Mr. Lightkin, aka Craig David.
Mate, you know what? Every time I come on, just introduce you like that. I don't need to say nothing. Job done.
And of course, my right-hand man, the guy who I could not live without. This podcast would not be possible. Engineer Sam. What's happening, big man?
Respect. All I got to say is God is good. That's all I'm saying. I'm done.
Yeah. Listen, let's get to it because time is scarce. Certain men were fluffing their nose and doing all that stuff, taking forever. You know what I'm saying? But after a wretched international break, obviously we know Gomez got an injury with England, Henderson too, and we had Salah go down with COVID. Just a quick line on Salah. I think people were getting at him for being at his brother's wedding, which I didn't agree with. I feel like in these uncertain times with the whole pandemic thing, I think family is everything. And I feel like you got a family member getting married. That's not something you should miss. Do you know what I mean? Those are moments in life that when he hangs up his boots, do you know what I mean? I didn't go because I was playing football. So I disagree with that. Anybody disagree with me on saying that?
Oh, wait. Can you imagine how pissed his brother would have been? For his, and he wouldn't have been able to deal with it, you know? But hey, we move on. And he's a good man and he'll come back and he'll pay back.
100%, man, 100%. I think he's back and he's tested negative since he's been back from Egypt. So I think he should be ready for Atalanta midweek. But yeah, boom. Let's focus on tonight's game, which is literally just finished. Analysis is going on in the background in many people's homes, I think. But we'll do our own analysis. Final score was 3-0. And I think it's prevalent that we do the lineup because obviously with all the injuries, the lineup changed. So I'm going to give that to you, man, Jefe, man. Go ahead, man.
Well, with the lineup, obviously we've got the big man in goal, which, you know, for the week that has been losing the legendary Ray Clements, we have a goalkeeper befitting of the legend that was there. Obviously, the two centre halves, one makeshift, which was Fabinho, and then Matip, and then Robbo, outstanding left back. Millie, you know, he's had a superb season when he played left back. So in his natural side, he was only going to really go one way. And then you move into the midfield. We've got the youngster in Curtis, who came of age today for me. You got Genie, and then Naby.
Genie Wijnaldum, 200th appearance today. So a lot of numbers, man. A lot of appearances. Big up, Genie.
We actually got 133 wins. I just read it out there out of 200. That's unbelievable.
That is not bad.
And then you move into the front three with Jota, Mane, and Bobby. You know, anytime we got Salah missing, I know Mane's there. We've seen it with Barcelona and Everton. You know, he can carry the guys and help them to come through. So, superb.
How did that team sheet read for you when you saw it, JR?
Well, there was whispers earlier in the day of Thiago making the bench. So a little bit disappointed not to see him on the bench, but team sheet starting wise, pretty much what I kind of expected. I was really looking at Curtis Jones to see how he played. I was very, and like Jefe said, like I was really impressed with his all-round game, maturity on the ball. Not just he was keeping it simple, but when the right pass was there to be made, he made the right pass. One little area towards the end of the game, he was trying to dribble in the box certain areas, but he will learn from that, and he got away with it towards the end. But it's all part of the learning, part of the process. So yeah, I was very impressed with him. I thought Keita played well first half. Yeah. But we all know what happened with him.
Yeah. Naby does what Naby does. He breaks down But just a quick line on Curtis Jones for me. I felt in the beginning of the game, the first 15, 20 minutes, I felt like he was non-existent, like in a sense of he just wasn't involved in the game as much as what he could have been. Not saying he was playing poor at that moment, but for me, I was calling for him to be more involved in the game. I know how good he is on the ball, how creative he can be, and I wanted to see that today. But what somebody said to me was that he had a much more mature, disciplined performance, which is true. When I look at it overall, it was very disciplined, which I think when you play in a midfield three with Naby Keita and with you, I think you need two disciplined midfielders, and I think he showed discipline today. So yeah, hats off to Curtis Jones in the midfield. Let's go from the first goal, because I think, Sam, up to the first goal, I think we were pretty much in the ascendancy. We had full control in the game, man. Talk to us about the first goal, man.
Yeah, even before, we were getting corners, we were really, really in control. We started well. We had a couple of efforts on target. We seemed comfortable. We seemed in control. And I don't think that's because Leicester were stepping off and showing us respect. I feel like we actually were forcing them back, and we were moving the ball left to right, and we were looking for those holes and those gaps. And I felt comfortable. For a Sunday night watch, I wasn't stressed out at all. I didn't think we were going to be a threat from corners, to be fair. There's the odd time that the giraffe gets his head on one, but generally, I don't really look for us to score from set pieces. So when it went in, I was pleasantly surprised, and I just felt like that pressure of the little African man like Salah, Mane, it just panicked him. It panicked him, and he didn't know what he was doing. And I felt like we earned it. We earned that little bit of luck because we'd been pushing them back. And so it was coming, but it was just an unexpected source for me, that's all.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you. It was an unexpected source, but it wasn't against the run of play. I mean, we were all over them. I feel like a lot was made of the deficiencies in our team, given the injuries and stuff. And I think a lot of people talked Leicester up into this game. Yeah. But ultimately, Jefe, man, they were found wanting. Didn't really have the cojones, did they, really?
Definitely not. But for me, I think that when Klopp looks at the game prior to the game, he knows we got a lot of players out, and he looks, how do we play this game? And when we haven't got our first choice defenders, the best way to defend the game is to control the game, to have the football. And then as soon as we do lose the ball, to really block any supply lines to Vardy. Which I think they did fantastically well, and they pushed them so far back. And to be fair, Leicester, the games that they've won against Man City, against Arsenal, they've been playing on the counter-attack. But none of these teams are as proactive when they lose the ball as us. And having a midfielder in a centre half, it just made our ball retention so much better, and we just kept the pressure and we kept the ball, and they didn't really know how to attack the problem. So I think it was he won't get the credit, but for me, it was a masterclass from Jurgen, with the way he set his team up and the instructions that he put out there. And you got the pressing machine as always as well. So yeah, that's for me. That was it. That was the way we won.
Do you know what, Jefe? Just to add on to what you said, every once in a while we get these games where we see the lineup and we start to be a bit jittery, and I think we've got to learn throughout to completely trust Jurgen. Because whoever he plays, for whatever game, for whatever competition, it is always bang on. And we look at him, we have our little doubts and we have our little discussions and think, not sure about this player, not sure about that. But he always gets it bang on. I don't know if any of you guys actually can remember the last time he got a lineup so badly wrong that it affected us and, it really ruined the game. No. Don't even try it. Don't even try it.
Yeah, just to go back to
Villa was a surprise.
Villa was a freak.
Was the lineup wrong, or was the team, the players just not?
With the tactics, maybe.
They just not turn up.
Yeah, I think the team didn't turn up, and we started badly, and it just carried on.
It's agent, bro. The agent factor, bro. Man's the cancer, bro.
That's a swear word,
Sorry, can't say that.
Sam, going on from what you touched on, I think it's that every player that comes in, even if they're second 11 or whatever, they will know what they're doing. So when he slots them into the team, there's no time of uncertainty. What do I need to do? Everybody's a well-oiled machine. It's been drilled on the training ground, and you see that. And this game reminded me of last season's away game slightly against Leicester,
Yeah.
where we just controlled it,
Yeah.
controlled the football. You know.
It was great. It was. Go on, JR.
No, I was going to say, like, you're saying the players know what they're going to do. Like, Milner, the pro that he is, like, just his decision making. I think they said it in commentary, like, certain decision making he was doing, just turning them, just keeping them under pressure. Like, and I think there was mention in the group of, like, Milner's got his legs in his legs. I think it's time for him to go.
Shout out to Ryan, yeah.
Yeah. Old type Ryan, and then there was comments made, like, which I kind of looked into, but people didn't really see that. No, like, he's a man. You need players in the team that are gonna come in, when they're called upon. They're gonna give 100%. They're not gonna sit on the bench, moan, disrupt the place. You need those pros in the club, which are very far and few between these days in a lot of football clubs. So big up Milner today.
Yeah, no, do you know what?
Millie was excellent.
Yeah, Jay, I'm with you, and that's exactly what I was going to say before I jumped in. I was going to say Milner in the first 10, 15 minutes, he was on job and he was whipping those balls in. I mean, he didn't get up the pitch as much as you'd want to, or like a Trent would, but he has the technique, the skill, the vision to play those balls. And like you said, Jay, turning the defence, the Leicester defence. And a couple of once Jota got in, I think he played one for Mane as well. He
was putting them into the striker's feet. Though a lot of them were going through the lines straight into the feet. So he was mixing it up. Really good, really good game IQ.
Yes, and I think, like I said, just to reiterate again, what you said is important. We need those pros around just to come in for games like this and show everybody, look, this is what we need to do. Especially when you got influential players out like Henderson and Virgil, you know what I mean? You need someone like Milner. So, and big ups to Milner with his door named after him at the AXA training grounds. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what part of the game that is, but you know what I mean? I'm sure he'll take that, you know what I mean? But yeah, no, it was an excellent performance from Jimmy Milner. And then obviously he gets a little assist. No, he doesn't actually. He doesn't get the assist for the second goal. It was Robertson, and I mean, what a cross from Robertson. I mean, what more could you ask for as a striker? With your fullback putting in balls like that, do you know what I mean? It's just like,
sorry, watch the goal again. Yeah, we did about 25 to 30 passes. Like, it was a 30. I'm quite sure it's 20 plus passes for that goal. So it started. The build up was long. Like, we was playing little pockets. Then when we sped it up was when Curtis did the diag.
Yeah.
And then space opened up, and then bam, it was in. So watch that goal back. That goal was, as a coach, that was perfect. Possession, controlled the ball, and I think lately, especially against Man City, we was doing too much long ball from back to front. It was no build up. There's no control. And today we controlled it, like Jefe said, we controlled it. And watch back that goal. That goal, best goal of the season for me so far that we scored. 100%.
I think Jota had a shot earlier on in the game that he kind of put down Schmeichel's throat that I thought he should have done better with. But he makes up for it with that run and that header. What I wanted to ask is, does Mo Salah score that goal?
Yes. Mo scored goals like that. We go back through all his goals. He scored headers like that. I think some of it is natural instinct from those players, but also it's a lot of repetition. There's a lot of repetition on that training ground. But yeah, I would say Mo would score it, but Jota is hot, and it was coming. He had a couple of chances.
He had a couple of chances. Yeah,
it was coming.
You're saying no, JR. I can see you saying no. Why not, man?
No, I'm saying Mo does them runs, but I see Mo do them runs, and a lot of them he tries to control it. Obviously, that one there was more of it was like a one-touch kind of finish, but I don't I've only seen Mo score one of the headers against Bournemouth when Trent whipped it and he flicked it kind of first time. So I would I'm not saying Mo wouldn't do it. I'd like to see him do more of those kind of finishes off with his head, because I think he tries to control a lot of them when they come into him. Watch it. He tries to control a lot of them. But that
what
one...
About you?
But that cross would have forced him to
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Because that run from out to in, from the right wing into the centre, is a run that he would make as well. But you're right, because
do you
normally,
think so? Because I don't think Mo makes that run across the defender like that.
I think he does. Not often. Not in the same way that Jota tries to look for them balls. But I think he does make that run. especially from the angle where Robbo was actually putting the ball in. So he wants to get in the box. He wants to get on the end of things. I think the run was probably better than his run would have been, because Jota is looking for those runs out to in all the time, whether he's left or right. So, I think he would have scored it. But at the moment, as we're saying, anything Jota touches is going in. So it's like, you know what? You know when a guy misses chances, but you just know he's going to score. It's not one of them guys, like previous to today when Bobby was on a madness, he had missed 5 or 6 a game. Yeah, and you're like, he's never going to score today. With Jota, you just know it's coming, innit? Just relax, it's coming. And boy, he's
in a real purple patch, Jota, already. Like he's in real good form, and I think the movement he has, the runs he makes, just the general footballing intelligence that he has, you can just see it on the pitch with the things that he does. And I just feel like with every game that Jota plays, that price tag is looking smaller and smaller and smaller. You know what I mean? I mean, what was it? 45 was it? I don't think.
Yeah, 45 mil in installments. Yeah. But one thing I want to add to him.
Hold on 1 second. I don't think 45 in today's market is a big number. And to me, right now, that 45 is looking like Shaqiri's 13, whatever it was we paid for Shaqiri. Do you know what I mean? So money well spent. Go on, Jefe. What you want to say?
I was going to say this is another reason why our heralded scouting department and algorithms and the way that they put the department together, it just works. You see signings like Jota and you go, this is why they do what we do. You know, because nobody's signing Jota. There's no Man United or Man City and those guys after him. But right now, if you gave him an opportunity to sign him, they'd be beating down your door.
Hindsight's a wonderful thing for those clubs, isn't it?
But we've seen he's about to explode. And if you put good players with better players, this is what you get, because probably the guys at Wolves wouldn't see those runs because they didn't have the quality. But now he's playing with players that can see that run. They're on the same plane mentally, you know?
One brain.
Yeah. No, you're right. When this whole algorithms math started coming into Liverpool, I was kind of skeptical because I didn't really know about it. It's only once I sat down and actually watched the program on it and how it actually works and what they look at that I understood it, and I realized actually it can work. And you know, they say in it, men lie, women lie, but numbers don't. So, you know, it's working. So, we go in halftime 2-0, all relatively happy. Kept Vardy quiet for a half, so second half comes out, and I don't know about you lot, but I thought Bobby Firmino would be out there for the rest of the evening till next weekend before he could score again. I mean, wow. Wow.
Yeah,
talk to me about his chances, JR, man.
10 millimeters off that line, bro. Post, crossbar, off the line. It was crazy. And he had another one where, you know, Evans nearly scored a hat-trick of own goals, you know? Like, serious. He hit the post twice, Evans, plus his goal. But yeah, Firmino's, going back to Firmino's chances, you know what? Like, I think that's the best he's played in a long while in Liverpool shirt.
You know what, Jay? I'm so glad you said that, because I said that he was much better today. And shouts out to big man like Rai. He was giving him such a hard time, saying it wasn't hard to be better. But go on, Jay. I agree with you.
Really, like, I think the front three were exceptional today. They set the levels for the whole team to follow. The pressing, everything. Firmino, he knitted the things. There were signs of the old Firmino coming back in terms of knitting things together. And the chances that he got. If you see the one when he went through and hit the post, great footwork, rolled the defender, came through, did everything right. He's just unlucky. You know what I'm saying? And the first half, he missed. When Matip headed it back, he should have scored that, to be fair.
Oh, that's a bit harsh, man.
He goes with that high karate kick.
Yeah, that's harsh.
Not like if all he does is contact that, it's a goal. He's like a yard out. So I was like, but then I looked past that, and then I was like, you know what? He's actually playing well. He was gluing, knitting everything together, hustling. I said, you know what? Yeah, he's playing really, really well. Watch it back, man. He played well.
No, I agree with you. I think that's the best performance we've had from Firmino in a long time. Like, I'm basically going to repeat exactly what you said. That the thing you said that was key was the whole knitting things together. Those little touches round the corner. The ball was sticking at his feet a lot better as well when the ball was pumped into him. Yeah, like it was much improved Firmino. And as much as he kept knocking on the door and I didn't think it was going to happen, he got his goal. And yeah, man, when his goal came, there was a lot of talk. What is Firmino? What is he? People were saying, he's number 9. He's a striker. He needs to get goals. Well, today, he did that number 9 justice with that goal, man. Talk to me about how his goal, Sam, man.
Yeah, do you know what? Before we came on air, I had to look at it and think to myself, wow, I've not actually seen him score a goal like that for so long. A classic header from a corner, getting up high above the defender, bulleting it down. Like, if that was Andy Carroll, that's Andy Carroll's go-to, isn't it? You don't expect it from Firmino. But the fact that he got a classic striker's goal, I guess, it rams it down a lot of our throats who saying he isn't a striker, he doesn't get enough goals. Score a classic number 9's goal. I'm happy for him, man. I really am. And to be fair, the performance deserved it. Because we could be here chatting about the luck and the millimetres and, should he have got that one where he hit the post? Should he have dinked it over the keeper? We can forget all of that now because he's got his goal. He's deserved it. He's done how many thousands of miles, come back from Brazil after scoring again, and he's actually brought his form with him. And so now I'm hoping that we can actually move forward with this and we can now have that genuine competition for the front three where they're all in form. Because off the back of this, do we really need to rush Salah back for Atalanta during the week? Can we sort of relax a little bit and let Bobby get some more confidence in his legs? You know, because I kind of feel like there's no real need to change things now. You know, because that front three worked perfect for me. And I'd rather...
I see what you're saying about bringing Salah back in. I guess it is Atalanta at the end of the day. I mean, they're not mugs, but they're not the greatest team. So there is a case where you could leave Salah rested. You know what I mean? But then again, you bring Salah in, you play the 4. You play the 4 and then put the game to bed early.
He played the 4 in the first in the away game, didn't he?
Because you get 5 substitutions. You get 5 substitutions in Europe, don't you? So, you know. But let's think about that a little bit later. Let's just stick with big old Bobby, man. And you know what I mean, he gets his goal. Let's just hope that this is the start of, you know, something. You know, he finds a little purple patch. I mean, personally, I don't expect him to score every game. If I'm honest, I don't mind 1 in 3 from Bobby. If I'm honest, as long as he's doing what he did today for me, that whole linking of play, that old Bobby stuff, I'm happy. So, I mean, I don't need him to score every game because with the likes of your Jotas and your Manes and your Salahs, we've got enough goals in the team to make up for the lack of goals that Bobby might have. You know what I mean? But
Slim, quickly, let me just ask you before we move on, bro. When was the last time you saw us play and create so many chances like that without Salah in the team?
Do you know what? Yeah, I'm off the top of my head. Yeah, I can't think of when we did. But
I'm amazed, bro. I can't.
Wait.
I don't think. Hold on. I've said it before. I don't think Salah not being in the team is as big as Mane not being in the team.
Yeah.
Even though Sadio didn't score today, I feel like he carries more of a threat when he's up there.
Yeah.
Because that guy, I mean, him and Fofana, is that his name? How you say it? Fofana? Yeah. I'm sure they must swap shirts at the end of the game. They had a brilliant battle today. But Mane will have anyone on toast. Like, you cannot relax with that guy around. He is capable of brilliance at any minute. I mean, don't get me wrong. Obviously, we know Salah is, but I just think Mane is just like a little bit more dangerous. Do you know what I mean? If the ball gets played up to Mane and he's got 2 defenders in front of him, I think something's going to happen. If he gets played up to Salah, I'm 50-50 here. Do you get what I'm saying? Right. So, whilst I get what you're saying, I can't think off the top of my dome when the last time he created as many chances without Salah. I think as long as Mane is in the team, it's not a problem.
Fair dues.
But on the whole Mane thing, he had a great game as well. He was excellent today without scoring. I don't know how he didn't score. How has he not buried a couple of those chances? Go on, Sam. You're going to say something?
No, I was going to say it was beginning to feel like it was just one of them days for him, man. It's like the chances he had, normally he would bury at least 2 of them. at least 2 of them. But I think as the game wore on, it actually looked like it was hanging on him a bit. Like when he had that chance when he was through on the left, and he opened up his body to bend the top right corner. I'm waiting for the net to bulge. I'm like, how is Casper even trying to save that? And they're trying to clear it off the line again. It was just one of them days for him. And even like towards the end, he had a run and he clapped it straight at the keeper again. I was like, he's actually trying too hard now, you know. And I think it was whoever's on commentary. I think it was Carragher saying he's going through a drought because it's been 2 games. And it's like, is it that level now whereby, you know, if he hasn't scored in 2 games, now it's going to be 3? That's a serious problem. And is it in his head already? You know what I mean? I'm like, no doubt he'll probably put one in next week, but it was just not his day.
I just think you expect him to score, Mane, and when he doesn't, it's a bit like, hold on a minute. But again, like I said, there's enough goals in the team to cover for any one of the front 4 not really firing on all cylinders or just having one of those days. So I'm not concerned. I don't think it's a problem. You know what I mean? But yeah, so that's 3-0, and I think after 3-0, I don't really see many problems. I think we're in cruise control, really. He makes the changes. He brings off Mane. He brings off Jota, brings on Divock and Minamino. But yeah, I don't think there's much danger after that. I think we're pretty much comfortable. Can I just give a shout out again to Fabinho, man? Slotted into centre back and was just seamless. Like, he's never left, never had no minutes out. Just perfect, man.
Do you know what? With Fabinho, I actually think he likes playing against pace. And I know he's not the quickest, but the way he steps off and gives himself that yard and gives himself space to be able to control the situation, he never really gets caught in them dangerous one-on-one situations where someone's going to breeze past him. And I thought obviously the threat was in behind today. We were a lot deeper than we were before. And he just seemed to be ready and know what runs were going to be made. But obviously he was helped by the fact that the midfield was blocking any balls that were going to be going through to Vardy. And Maddison really didn't get involved into the game till much later on.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of credit needs to go to the midfield really for stopping and blocking anything coming through.
Go on, Jefe.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's called reading the game. But also, the midfield made sure there was always pressure on the ball.
Yes.
So if there's pressure on the ball, it's harder for them to find the right through ball. And his instincts from being a holding midfielder lends itself well to being a centre half because he reads the game. He can see what's developing in front of him and make the adjustments.
So what about so when there's no pressure on the ball, why was we holding that high line at the beginning of the season?
Well, because but I think it's something that we've always tried to do the last couple of seasons. It's the way we like to play football. You know, we'd like to catch them offside. We'd like to pin them in and try and recycle the ball. But at the beginning of the season, the fitness levels are not quite there.
So so if they're not quite there, then surely we're playing now defensively. Because when the midfielder turns now, I just watched the back line and they just drop straight away. Where before we was holding and getting caught early in the season so much. We've definitely changed how we
got more confidence in the centre halves that we had at the beginning of the season. We trust the recovery pace of Gomez and Van Dijk to be able to deal with any sort of mistakes or any people that get in behind us. But now we're with the third choice and the centre midfielder, so we have to adapt. If we stay the same way, we've got killed.
But do you think the style changes according to who we're going to play? The high line will work first against some teams and not others.
I think there's an element of that. There has to be.
Because against lesser teams, against lesser teams, you don't want to concede the space. You want to press them high because they're more likely to make a mistake. The better the team is, the more respect you're going to give them necessarily. Do you get what I mean? In terms of their front men. I mean, a guy like Vardy, if you play a high line, he's going to kill you. He's got his pace. So you give them that respect and you drop off a bit.
But I think what hurts you against the Villa is that they've got 2 centre midfielders that can beat a man. So once they beat that first person that comes to rush them, it opens everything up. And then you're at sea. But I don't think that Leicester have quite the same capabilities in the centre of their midfield, which is why, you know, it's easier to kind of keep that rigid high line because nobody's going to beat. I mean, Tielemans, for all the, you know, the best wishes in the world, he's not going to beat too many people. and Maddison is not the quickest. But when you look at Grealish and even Ross Barkley, they can beat somebody in that midfield, and it opens all up.
Fair enough. It's all a matter of opinions, isn't it? You know what I mean? But yeah, I just think you adjust every game according to who you're playing. I don't think you can be Arsene Wenger and play one way all of the time. It doesn't work like that anymore.
Backline has definitely changed though. The last two games against City, we dropped off as well. I saw it. I was watching. You know what I mean? That's my biggest gripe. And against City, we was dropping off. We weren't trying to hold that line. I definitely they've been told it's changed. Definitely.
Yeah, but you think even look at Man City. They've got Sterling. Like just the first name come off my head with pace. You know what I mean? Ferran Torres. Like you can't give those players the space in behind. Do you know what I mean? It's just not going to work. They're going to kill you. But hey, I guess we'll see if it goes back to the high line against a lesser team. Who we got next in the league?
Brighton.
Home or away?
Away. Not that it matters, but yeah.
We'll come back to home with Wolves, I think.
12 o'clock.
Well, we're going to see. Last thing to ask you on that game is your man of the match. I'll go with you, Big Sam, first. Who would you give your man of the match to?
I'm still going to go with Millie. As much as Jones is in there with a really good shot, I think Millie led from the front. He played well for the whole game. When he moved into midfield, he was still controlling. I know he's an experienced vet, but I was just impressed because he led like how Henderson would lead with his performance. And I think we needed that in an experienced team. So, yeah, Millie for me.
What about you, JR?
Yeah, like while Sam was talking, I was really trying to think. Like, I think obviously Firmino he played well, Jones played well, but Milner stand out. Just a well-trained professional at everything he does, and yeah, he was captain material today. So yeah, Milner for me.
Jefe?
I'm gonna go somebody different. I'm gonna go for Robbo. I think with Trent being out of the team, the onus was on him to supply those pinpoint accurate crosses, and also some of his running. I mean, I've seen him go past 3 or 4 players, attacking the space, and defensively he was solid again. So for me, he's my man of the match. But notable mentions definitely Millie and Jones, and the 2 centre halves, and also Genie. But Robbo for me.
Fair enough. I think I'm going to go for the kid Jones. I think I wanted to see, I said already earlier on, I wanted to see a bit more from him, but then I understood his performance. And I think for someone so young, I think, yeah, he stepped up to the plate today, man. I think, yeah, it was a solid performance. He had a few tricks in there. Do you know what I mean? He did everything right today, man. I don't see why he wouldn't start against Atalanta after today's performance, man. So I'm going to give it to Jones. I think, like you said, Jefe, I think most of the team, I don't think there was a poor performance from anyone in the team. So anyone could have got man of the match. I mean, we didn't even touch on it, even Alisson, to the point where he had nothing to do. Then he has that double stave from Vardy, which I'm sure would have been caught was offside if the AR looked at it. But he still had to make the saves when he saved it. He was there. Yeah. But, yeah.
Did you hear Alisson talking to Nico Williams throughout the game?
No, I didn't.
No, actually.
Didn't know.
Yeah. Load of talking, always talking. He's coaching him through the game. It's like he's got a control pad. He's control padded him, bro. Which is great. Which you need to do to younger players. You know, what I mean? You've got a control pad there. That's what I call it. So yeah, he's always talking. Watch it without the fans on, because I watched it without the fan noise on today.
But you know what? That's what annoys me. When you put it in Ultra HD, Ultra HD, the fan noise is automatic. You know what I mean? And
so we can't afford that over here.
What can I say? I live in West London, innit? Do you know what I'm saying?
Hey, don't even, yeah. Love to us Southerners, yeah.
Yeah, but hey, listen. Every week, every lesson, every session, man.
No, we'll have to watch that back. All right, boys. I want to. Obviously, we've gone back to the top of the league now. Well, joint top of the league, but second by goal difference. So what I want to start doing from now is I want to start looking at the rest of the league and at the fixtures for the weekend, basically, and having a little word on those, because obviously, especially this season, this is a season where it's not, everything's like upside down, topsy-turvy with the whole COVID thing. I think the league's wide open, and I think we have a duty to discuss our rivals for the title. Do you know what I mean? So I want to first start with Chelsea, because talking to Big Sam in the week, and he feels Chelsea are title contenders. And I mean, they won their game. I mean, they played Newcastle away and they won 2-0. Who were their scorers? I think. Who were their scorers?
Own goal.
Abraham,
Yeah, and Abraham's, yeah. Sam, seeing as you peg Chelsea for title contenders, you can have a little word on them and why you think they're going to be title contenders.
Do you know what it is for me at the moment? I think they've got enough strength and depth in the attacking sense to be a threat for longer this time. That's all it is for me. They started well last season and we thought, yeah, they might actually do something, and they fell off pretty quickly towards the second half of the season. But I feel with the reinforcements they have up top, they're going to score a lot of goals. They're still vulnerable at the back for me. I'm not buying into the whole Mendy and Thiago Silva thing just yet, because they haven't played really a top team apart from us.
That's right. 100%. Yeah.
But at the moment, while it's all so tight, they're doing what they need to do at the moment, and they're just winning games, and they're gaining confidence and they're gaining momentum. So I wouldn't necessarily just dismiss them as of yet, because it's early and they're just keeping in touch. And I've said anyone who's in touch at the end of the year, and I'm talking like within 3-4 points of the top place, yeah, they're going to be a threat in the new year. Now, don't get me wrong, I think everyone's going to have their injuries, but I think they're best equipped to deal with injuries up top in terms of the volume of players they have and how their new signings have settled. I ain't shook at them, like you were saying, but I just feel like we should be aware of them and don't dismiss them. I'll dismiss the others, but for Chelsea, for me, there's just something about them just kind of graining on me to make me think, well, okay, we need to be aware of these guys. That's all.
I'll be honest with you, yeah. I watched the Chelsea Newcastle game in parts, and the run Werner made for the second goal was amazing. He picked up the ball, I think, sort of halfway-ish, and he just puts his head down and just starts motoring. Two Newcastle defenders come across, and he just uses his pace to push the ball through the middle of them. And one of them should have
fouled him, though, to be fair.
Yeah, he's that quick. I agree with you, but I think he's gone that quick. I don't think they could actually touch him. And then he's obviously put up a plate on Abraham, and Tammy's just laid it in the thing. So I could kind of see your point. I just don't feel they've got it. I think the one time they came up against decent testing us, they were found wanting. Who have they? Like you said, they haven't played anyone. I'm not.
United as well. Went defensive against United. Terrible game.
But United in the top team, they still ain't played no one.
I know, but Lampard, his minerals, he didn't show kahunas. He went defensive and didn't, attack that game.
Went not to lose, didn't he? So
yeah,
for me, I don't think they're title contenders personally. But hey, what else happened in the league this weekend? It was Spurs City, JR, and Mourinho pet, and Mourinho came out on top 2-0, man. Give us your thoughts on that game.
Well, Man City got Mourinho'd again. They know what, it's City. Like I've said it many times, the players that they've got in there now are not of the caliber that they once had. They're used to like a 9 or 10. Now they got like 6 and 7s, the Rodris, the Cancelos, all these type of players. I don't think the players are good enough for City. And it's starting to show. A lot of teams are getting confident to attack them now. And their transition, their pressing, they don't press as well as they did. And I've actually started to look at it. When they lose the ball, they don't get the ball back as they did. And not having Fernandinho in there yesterday showed, because the first goal, Kane drew the 2 centre backs in, and the run of Son. We need to see how Tottenham play now. Like Tottenham it's all about runners, the wide runners. They kind of like got our kind of template if you really look at it. Like Son, and when Bale will come in at some point, and them two are going to be the wide, the inside runs that Mane does. And yeah, City. I just think City didn't. The game came with one plan, and it's just like one level. I I think they're going to fall
City
off, bro.
stink.
To be honest, I think
City
Tottenham.
absolutely stink. City. That's just be honest. They stink. They're not City of last season or the season before. They absolutely stink. I don't know. I can't. I was actually surprised Pep signed a new deal. I didn't think that would happen, but they're just awful right now, aren't they? They're just not. It's just not working for them, is it?
You don't see them as our main threat anymore, Slim.
No. That's what I was going to ask you, JR. Somebody said it to me, and I'm not going to say what my response is. That Tottenham team that was out against Man City yesterday, is it better than Man City?
Right now, yeah. A season long one. If no one gets injured, player for player, the team that started probably more better drilled, a better unit as a team. So I would say yeah. Right now, yeah, I would say yeah.
Do you know what? I said no, because I was thinking more player for player. But if you look, I think we've showed it. To win a league, you don't have to be player for player better than everybody. You need to be a better team. And I think Tottenham are a better team. I said it to an Arsenal fan the other day. Tottenham are better than Arsenal. Yeah, 100% better than Arsenal.
Yeah, of course.
Easily. Arsenal is in the conversation.
North London Red.
Shouts out to White Yardie.
JR phoned him. He's on the edge of a bridge.
I did an Insta story a minute ago before I come on there. That's why. That's not why I was late, by the way. But I did an Insta story.
Yourself.
They said, "Oh, yeah."
I think Tottenham are the team to watch this season. Personally, I just think they have something about them that is they're gonna cause problems at the top. They're not. I think Sam was saying to me in the week that Tottenham and their Europa League responsibilities is going to be a problem. I don't. No. I think they have a big enough squad to cope with Europa League. Yeah, they've got a lot of decent fringe players that can cope in the Champions League. And Bell hasn't even integrated into the team properly yet. And I think when that comes in, they will be devastating. Son, Bell, and Kane. Kane's new role, he seems to draw all the attention to himself deep in the midfield, and balls are just played through for the right runs of Son and whoever else plays. And I think they're a real threat. And I think, like JR said, they have a slightly Liverpool template, and I think they'll be the ones to watch for me. But great game from Spurs. Great Mourinho masterclass against City. And for me, Man City are done out here. They just they need to reboot and come again. But Spurs, the ones to watch for me.
Mourinho in his second seasons.
Yeah, once he gets them,
and he's humbled Kane as well, so that Kane is now comfortable to set people up rather than having to score the goals, and that's key.
That's key. The onus is not on Kane. They're not a one-man team anymore.
We needed this Kane in that World Cup semi-final.
Well, not taking.
I think that came. I think that was the Daily Mirror Kane. You know what I mean? Not gonna say nothing else other than that. You know what I mean? But hey, props to Tottenham, man. Props to Tottenham. But Jefe, unfortunately for you, you're gonna get Man United. They played West Brom yesterday and managed to scrape it 1-0. Penendez strike again. Talk to me about the game, man.
They stunk the place out again. Literally, really. West Brom had a player in the midfield. I think his name is Pereira. And he was doing all sorts of magician stuff in that midfield. He was dominating. And they've got a player. I think his name is it Johnson, the striker. And he hit the corner of the crossbar and the post with an unbelievable effort. And also Sam Gallagher? He should have had a penalty.
Oh, 100%.
For me, that was a penalty. And then the penalty that they conceded, for me, wasn't a penalty. You know, I've seen them not given as penalties, but then we had our
who was on the VAR for Man United yesterday?
No, he was actually reffing the game.
No, sorry.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. Our friend. Yeah, terrible. You know, another mistake. But for me, you know, that win papers over cracks for United. They had an awful performance. Awful. They got the manager. We know what he's about. I mean, if you're a United fan,
Team Ollie, Team Ollie,
Ollie must stay.
Win 1 in 3, Ollie. 1 in 3 keeps you in the job. But for me, you look at United fans. Them looking at Tottenham must make them sick. You had that guy. All you had to do was give him what he wanted, the ammunition, the players he wanted, but you didn't. And Spurs of Levy has been smart enough to give him that. So United. I mean, look, where was Pogba? He wasn't even in the squad.
Injured.
Was he injured?
Yeah.
Okay.
Injured.
So I'll allow him. I missed that information.
That fire was ready, boy. I see it.
Yeah. But you know,
hey, hold on, Jefe, I got a question for you.
Go on.
Can Pogba and Fernandes play in the same team?
I think you play one or the other with Van der Beek. I think that.
Why doesn't Donny get? Why is he not getting any game time?
Because Ollie doesn't have a clue. Because for me,
that's it. Simple as that.
yeah. Because when he plays, he would be an amazing in our team. He'd be amazing in that little hole with the one-touch play, passing, and he arrives into that box late. He's quality. I think Fernandes wins you individual games by maybe penalties and things like that. But I think Donny will win you consistently games over a long period. You know, not little one-offs, individual brilliance. He'll get the team playing better. You know, and I think that the manager is not skilled enough to realise that. Which is their problem, not mine.
Who brought him then?
Sorry?
Who brought him then? The club or the gaffer?
I believe it's that Woodward buys the players. I don't believe that they trust Ollie to buy players, because he was chasing Sancho was his primary target. He's chasing him all summer. They have money, you know. They could have got him, but they're trying to scoop. And they're thinking,
no, not 100 million money. I think everyone, I keep telling this about everyone, and every team's the same, bro. This whole COVID thing and no fans, no gate receipts, it's a big deal. It's a lot of money. It's a big loss in revenue. So as much as I have a hatred for Man United, I've got a football head, and I just feel like that's the business side of things. But we won't get into that. I'm glad they didn't get Sancho.
Of course. But I think there's more than one way to skin a cat. You know, you can put a deal together that will guarantee Dortmund that money. But when you're trying to say to them, when they want, 90 million to 100 million for a player, we'll give you 60 million and never bonuses. Yeah. That's not going to cut it for some clubs. Yeah. But
well,
they're not even. I don't even know why you brought them up, because they're not in the ball game.
Yeah.
I don't even know where they're.
They were our rival, and I'm not unhappy to see them where they are. I think they deserve it. And it's going to be tough, because who do they go out and replace Ollie with?
Maurizio
Pochettino, isn't it?
I don't believe he's like Klopp. I think that the club.
He'll take it. No, he'll take it. He'll take the job. He'll take the job. He won't take a job lower than.
I think PSG for him. I think the PSG job is for him.
Maybe. Yeah, well, they scraped a 1-0 win. Fernandes strikes again, like I said. Good for them down there in the relegation battle, Europa League fight, whatever. Let's move on. I'm just going to gloss over a couple of results. For all the early results Villa had and the great performances they had in the 7-2 against us, and they struggled against Brighton. Well, I don't know if they struggled, because I didn't actually watch that game. They lost 2-1 to Brighton.
Played well.
So did Brighton play well? Yeah. Did you watch it? Yeah. All right. Give us quick.
Yeah, I watched it. Brighton played. They played 2 strikers, Welbeck and Mope. Mope. And they linked up really well. Brighton's dying up for legs up front. Am I cutting out?
Yeah, go on.
Can you hear me? Yeah. So Brighton played really well. Lamperty got a red card, so he's missing the game against us.
I was happy about that, to be honest.
Yeah.
Well, he's in my fantasy
we've
football
got-
team now. I got -1. I was upset.
Villa got a penalty in injury time. The referee gave it, and then VAR he overturned it when the referee looked actually slightly.
Oh, JR, your connection's juggling.
It was Ollie March.
Juggling.
Stole the ball. He tackled the guy and won the ball, and they went back to VAR, and the decision was proved that he won.
Yeah.
I think Villa will be all right this season, though. I don't think the way they've started and the way they're still going, I don't think they'll be struggling like last season. I think they should be one of the teams that are safe this season. Well,
Definitely.
Let's go over a couple of today's game. Let's get rid of the bore fest. That was Leeds Arsenal 0-0. Pepe naive with that little headbutt, and I mean, he probably not much contact, but we know what happens when that happens. The player's always going to go down. It's football. It's very tactical. So like a game of chess goes down. I expected better from Leeds with the way that they play and their attacking prowess. But Arsenal, to defend for 40 minutes with 10 men, have to give them their props. You know what I mean? That's not bad. I think the only bad thing for Arsenal is Saka went off. So I think he looked like he went off with an injury. I don't know what injury it was.
I think more impact.
Knee.
Was it?
Bugs on the knee.
So I think if he's out for a period of time, that's going to hurt them a little bit because I think he's probably their best player, like bar Aubameyang. I think Saka's their second best player. You know what I mean? So yeah, but that was a bore fest. Forget that. Again, Sheffield United, West Ham. West Ham turned out 1-0 winners. I didn't get to see that game yet, but that looked a bit boring as well. I mean, Sheffield United. I mean, what's happened to Sheffield United?
We mentioned before about the second season syndrome, and they're really, really struggling. Yeah. And I don't think they've even won a game yet.
No, they've been worked out.
Against Fulham, they drew against Fulham.
Yeah, I mean, Fulham, the whipping boys. You know what I mean? That's crazy. And do you know what? Just on Sheffield United quickly, I just feel sorry for Ryan Brewster. I mean, I didn't want him to go. We've sold him. He's gone to a club where I don't think they can really accommodate his talents. I mean, yeah. I think it was a bit of a bad move. I don't know. I hope as a club we didn't push him in that direction because that move was not advisable. I mean, anyone with half a brain could see Sheffield United's not the team he needed to go to. Do you know what I mean?
Thing is, I heard it was between them and Palace, and he chose Sheffield United. The Palace would have been a blinding move for him, man.
Much better team. Much better. Saying that Palace at the minute, they're a little bit defensive at the minute. Palace.
Yeah, but they do play well on the break and they got pace up top. So it would have suited him. Definitely would have suited him. Create a lot more chances than Sheffield United anyway.
Fair enough. Yeah. And the other result from today's game, little brother, title contenders, Everton.
What title were you talking about?
My banter wasn't quick enough, man. They're so
WWE.
Yeah, seriously. But you know what? They started off against Fulham. They started off well. I mean, little side note, I put Calvert-Lewin in my fantasy football team because I figured, Fulham, the Whipping Boys, they're going to do well. And they started off well. 3-1, it turned out half-time. But Fulham then, second half, I don't know what Scotty Parker said to them at half-time, but they came back into the game. And I think, guys, if you go on the second half, they deserved a draw, didn't they, JR, at least?
Yeah. It was the subs. Like, he took off the players that he had on starting weren't the right players. I think he had Reed. Even though Reed scored, he didn't really bring much to the game. And Kearney, they took him off and put on Loftus-Cheek. He should have started. I don't know why he did not start. And then Lookman got into the game more when Loftus-Cheek came on, and then they brought Mitrovic on, someone a target man who can hold up there, change the game for them. But they started like that. You'd never know, but they looked a lot better like that. They should continue like that.
I'm not sure who took the penalty, but when he stepped up, I knew he was going to miss. I don't know why. I just knew he was going to miss, but he slipped and he kicked the ball onto his standing leg and went over. But they got their second goal. Fulham, like I said, deserved the point. But I'm speaking like speed talking because I think time is up now, boys. So we've got to flip and fly. But as it stands, we're second in the league. Tottenham above us. Who's your main threat for the title, JR?
You can't write off Man City, Chelsea, Tottenham. So I'd still say Man City are gonna be there and thereabouts, man. We can't write them off. We can't
Fair
write them
enough.
off. We'd be very.
What are they? They 8 points adrift. Okay, fair enough. Jefe, what about yourself?
For me, at the moment, I would say the Mourinho factor and Spurs and their squad is pretty strong. I think Man City don't have the minerals. The gap is already quite big. And we saw last season, when we start to open up a gap, I don't think they got the stomach for the fight.
Fair enough.
So I think Tottenham, for me, they're there because they can win big games because Mourinho, that's his forte, his arena, that's his forte. So me, Spurs, yeah.
All right, cool. So we've got a Chelsea, we've got a City, and we've got 2 Spurs. All right, cool. But on today's game, great 3 points, great performance with all the injury concerns going on. But let's hope there's no more problems and we can start to get some players back. Next game is Wednesday, Atalanta. Then after that, it's Brighton away. Yeah, man. We'll cover the Atlanta game at the weekend, won't we? Yeah, cool. Guys, look out for the preview show coming for the weekend game. And all I've left to say is make sure you like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, everywhere. You know how to find us. As always, I've been your boy Slim. Jefe's been with us today still. Man like JR. And of course, Engineer Sam in the building. Thank you, brother. Until the next time, guys, we're out.
All right, man. Peace.